Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when it all unravels for the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So what is unraveling? That is when things fall apart. Imagine if you have a t-shirt, it's kind of old and there's a thread sticking out of it and you pull the thread. Well, usually the whole t-shirt will fall apart after a period of time. That is what the narcissist was doing to the relationship that you were a part of. That is what they were doing to the relationship that they were in before you were part of that relationship. And that's what they're doing right now with the new supply. They are unraveling the relationships. But this is what the narcissist does by design. They want to get people hooked onto them. And they want to have people thinking about them, pining for them, and living in their head rent-free. And then they can keep those people stuck and trapped in the narcissistic fog or the devaluation stage. They want people working for them. The narcissist wants an unpaid helper, a sounding board, a walking apology. They want someone to pay their way through life and to elevate their way through life. The narcissist usually goes from person to person, relationship to relationship, leaving a wake of destruction in their path. And they have no remorse. They cannot introspect. They won't be accountable. And what happens eventually is the narcissist will meet their match. And that many times, but not always, is when things become unraveled for the narcissist. So let's put it this way. When you were in the relationship with the narcissist, you gave it your all. You were a committed person to that relationship, as you are to virtually every relationship you've ever been a part of. But you met the narcissist, and this changed your life forever. Remember, the narcissistic relationship is the relationship you need to heal from. You can't just put a Band-Aid over it. There's no magic pill or wand that can be waved. You have to go through the healing path. You can't go around it. But having said that, when you're in the relationship, the narcissist knew who you were. They figured out what made you tick. They sized you up. They learned about your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, who your past relationships were, what your present relationships were, and where you wanted to go. And perhaps they learned way too much about you because you most likely overshared, because you believed that everybody on the planet, or most people, had your best interest at heart. And you believed that the narcissist, because of their words and their actions in the beginning, was one of those people. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could be further from the truth. The narcissist was trying to take you down for the count. They were trying to take anything that made you you. They were trying to drive wedges between anything that mattered to you and you. And they wanted to take your time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, your status, your network, your health, your finances, your assets. They wanted everything. And they got as much as they could get from you before one of two things happened. Either you were discarded, and if you were, my heart goes out to you, or you ended it yourself. And you're a very strong person if you endured or experienced either of those. But eventually things will become unraveled for the narcissist. You see, the narcissist usually thinks that the grass is always greener on the other source of supplies territory, meaning when they leapfrogged from your relationship to whoever the new supply is, or by now maybe that's a new supply, whoever that is, but they believe that they're getting something out of the relationship. That's what they were thinking when they were in the relationship with you. The narcissist looks at people as opportunities. They look at people as weak and inferior, and they look at people who don't know their own value or worth as pawns or puppets. That's why they place these people in the narcissistic fog. But eventually, the narcissist will overplay their hand, just like they did with you. And they will meet their match. Maybe they leapfrog onto a new relationship, and that person turns out to be a narcissist. Or maybe that person turns out to be something even worse. Who knows? But the narcissists themselves will always become unraveled because they are stuck in the mindset of a child. They believe that they're entitled. They believe that they are smarter than you. They're more beautiful than you, that they have more knowledge and experience than you. And they believe that once someone gets in a relationship with them, that many times, although not always, they believe that they can always get that person back. That's not the case. You're getting the wisdom, you're applying the tools that are provided for you on the channel and in the community, and you're understanding that the path is to go no contact and block these people. Having said all those things, when the narcissist doesn't get what they want, go back in time when you were in the relationship with them. When they don't get what they want, they usually will do one of a few things. One, somebody will experience the silent treatment. Two, you'll get a rage fit. Three, you could be ghosted. Four, they will disappear for a period of time and triangulate you with somebody. And there are other things that they will do. But remember, when the narcissist does not get what they want, they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to regulate themselves. They don't know how to just be. The narcissist needs people around them. They need people to pump up their fragile ego. That's why they surround themselves usually with flying monkeys and enablers, or people stuck in the fog, or people that are reliant upon them, i.e. their own children or parents that they can financially abuse with them. In other words, let's say that the narcissist has a business or something and they surround themselves with their own immediate family members, and well, what they can do there is they can play any piece the way they want to. Maybe this week somebody doesn't get a paycheck, maybe next week someone's fired, maybe next week someone gets demoted, who knows. But the narcissist needs control. They need control over virtually every relationship they encounter, and that is why they are weak and cowards. That's why they're bullies and they're hollow. That's why there's no substance to them and they're shallow, because they don't play by any rules. They play by their own set of rules, which continuously fluctuate, determined on which way the wind blows or what they need to get from somebody. Now, the narcissist will experience all of these times where they do not have control, and they will become unraveled. Now, when you were in the relationship with them, you saw strange behaviors, and you saw some very strange and peculiar mannerisms on the behalf of the narcissist, because whenever those things you would see those, that meant that somebody, maybe even you, weren't giving them what they needed, and they did not know how to handle it. Again, let's go back to the relationship when you were perhaps living with the narcissist, and let's say you both had jobs. Well, if you would come home and you would beat the narcissist home, and then the narcissist would come home after a little bit of time, then you never knew what you were going to get, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. And if you got the good version of the narcissist, that means that work that day went pretty well, and they abused somebody, or they got what they needed, or they made themselves feel better than other people. In other words, they got their supply that day. But if they didn't, it was going to be you. It was going to be you who was going to be the punching bag of verbal abuse, and you were going to have to deal with their poor behavior. This is what happens. This is how the narcissistic abusive cycle goes around and around. The narcissist needs built-in supply living with them. And if they don't have that, they have multiple smartphones, or they're always on the go, 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 because the narcissist can't sit still. And when things become unraveled for them, they do not know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle pressure. They don't know how to handle the magic word no. Remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. You couldn't use that word back when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, because they couldn't hear it. They didn't want to hear it then. They don't want to hear it now, and they won't hear it in the future from any current source of supply, because the narcissist needs to be in control, and they don't want things to become unraveled or to go sideways if they can avoid it in front of a new supply. Now, when you are not the new supply, and let's say you were the built-in supply, or you were married with them for 10, 20 years, or maybe it's your mom or dad, they don't care. They'll become unraveled whenever they want to, because they're used to you and they know that you're going nowhere. That's why they tend to use and abuse and manipulate those people that are closest to them until those people remove themselves from the relationship. And this could be anybody: mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, romantic relationship, neighbor, colleague, person in the community or organization or hobby group you were part of. The narcissist is everywhere, but their lives do tend to spiral downwards as they get older. The aging narcissist is not a pretty sight to see. This video is not about the aging narcissist, but I did create a playlist with a whole bunch of videos illuminating you on the aging narcissist as to how these people age, and they don't age gracefully. They are petulant children in adult bodies, thinking that they are living a life from 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago. That's why they wear clothes of a younger generation. That's why they act cool. That's why they hang out with people half their age. That's why they use words and mannerisms that the younger generation uses at times, because they want to fit in. But the thing is, they don't fit in. And the aging narcissist is a very pitiful sight to see. But they will go down swinging on their deathbed. Believe me when I tell you, they will never introspect. They will never be accountable. They won't apologize. They won't change. They will believe that they still own you, and they will do whatever they can do. But as the narcissist ages, things become unraveled. Their own children at times don't communicate with them, because their children, who are now adults and have their own children, have seen this show one too many times, and they don't want to be around the toxicity. Their former partners, i.e. spouses or romantic interests, have done one of a few things. One, they've either stayed stuck and they're still pining for the narcissist, and my hope is that is not you. Or number two, they removed themselves from that relationship and they got as far away from the narcissist as possible, because they went through the cycle and perhaps they did understand what narcissism was. And then the third part is that same person, part two. They removed themselves and they got out of the relationship, and maybe they didn't figure out what narcissism was, and that is most people on the planet. It's either 1 or 3. It's not number 2. I hope that was clear. But the narcissist creates chaos and confusion and destruction and devastation throughout their whole life. They don't care about anybody, They don't care about one person but themselves. And when they have no source of supply, because for periods of time, they will be limited to only communicating on their smartphone. Example, I can give you a prime example. Let's say there's they're on vacation or something and the internet isn't that good. Well, then they only have the people that they're with to communicate with, because they can't get their supply from the smartphone. But flip it, say that they're snowed in and they're in their house and they couldn't, this is the better example, they're snowed in and the snowplow isn't coming for 5 days or something, and all they have is their smartphone. They don't have a real life person in their room or their house with them. This happens more frequently than you would think. Not getting snowed in, but the narcissist, they become unraveled because they don't have a real live human being in their proximity. That is why the narcissist has so many smartphones. That's why they're crawling over social media. That's why they're crawling all over dating apps. They're always looking for the next new shiny object. They're looking for the next person to fall into the trap of manipulation. They're looking for the next person to leapfrog their way through life and to take from that unsuspecting person. Again, many people post-narcissistic relationship, they don't get that needle in a haystack. They don't figure out or deduce that they were with a narcissist. That is not you. You're in the community. You are understanding, hey, bunny rabbit, you're understanding that the narcissist does exist and you were in a relationship with them. And yes, the rabbit is right here 2 feet in front of me. And I'll try and show it to you real quick. Check this out. See him? Hi. There he goes. I hope you guys saw him. So that's mid-video, sorry. The point being is the narcissist will become unraveled. And what they do is they do not want anybody new seeing that if they can avoid it. Anybody they've known for a period of time, not anybody, but most people, they don't mind becoming unraveled because those people are accustomed to it. They're used to the poor behavior. The new supply isn't quite there yet. They need to groom and trick and trap the new supply. They need to have the new supply believe in the mask just like you did. Remember, when you met the narcissist, they were on their best behavior. They were probably courting you or trying to get close to you or joining your hobby groups and asking for rides or grabbing dinners and lunches with you. And of course, you were paying for everything. And then maybe one day the two of you struck up a real friendship and they moved in and you became roommates, or maybe you fell in love and you relocated, who knows. But the narcissist looks for people who don't know what narcissism is unless you haven't healed. If you haven't healed, that's what I was saying before the rabbit. If you haven't healed, then you're susceptible to falling back into the narcissistic relationship, not only with that narcissist, but with other narcissists in the future. That's why the path is to become educated and awakened and understand your worth and your value, and to have boundaries and not be a people pleaser. But when the narcissist, their life becomes unraveled, many times for them, it's too late because the people have disappeared. Like I mentioned, their own children won't talk to them. Their own parents won't talk to them at times. Their friends figure out eventually that something's wrong with them because they see all the broken relationships that have surrounded the narcissist throughout their whole life, and they figure out the one common denominator. The one common denominator is the narcissist. It is not you. It is not their former romantic relationships or their kids. It is the narcissist, because the narcissist needs to bully and manipulate and abuse people. That is why they do what they do. They go through life like a bull in a china shop and they don't care. They only get worse over time. So when you were in the relationship, you, I'm certain, saw their emotions and the lack of regulation of their emotions many times, but you chalked it up to, oh, they were just having a bad day, or they had a tough day at work, or, well, you know, this period of time is kind of rough for them. It's, you know, the anniversary of a passing of a loved one or something. Or the narcissists take anything they ever say with a huge grain of salt. Anything, because they will twist their words any way they want to. Think about what gaslighting is. It's when they're having you doubt your sense of reality, of what you thought or you know was reality. They're twisting the narrative right there. So if they twist that, they'll twist whatever they want to, which means anything that comes out of the narcissist's mouth, you need to take it with a grain of salt, because they're always looking for a new person to believe in the nonsense that they spew out of their mouth. And again, in the beginning of the relationship, that was you, it was certainly me. But now we understand that not a lot of people have our best interest at heart. The narcissist is crawling all over the planet. We need to insulate and protect ourselves, if not now, when? So when the narcissist's life, when things become unraveled for them, they will be looking back one day, believe me when I tell you, if they haven't already, and they will say that you, the person watching the video, the beautiful, bright, shining light, you were the one that got away. You were the one that wised up. Whether you were discarded or not, it doesn't matter. The thing is, you've healed, and you're really understanding about this thing called life. Life is a journey that's meant to be enjoyed, relished, cherished, experienced, honored, and celebrated. It's not meant to be kept captive of another person's wants or needs to the detriment of yourself. That's why I share so frequently in videos. When you were in the relationship, you lost your hobbies, you lost your network of friends, you lost your social circle, you lost your health, you lost your finances, you lost your ability to function properly, you lost the clarity of your mind because you didn't know what you were up against. And this is the only relationship that you need to heal from, or it's one of a few. And if you have to heal from a relationship, that means damage was done. And I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you. I'm letting you know that you're on the healing path. You're in the community. The healing path is not linear. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal. If you understand that that relationship, you have to unwind so many things. And right now, as I'm creating this video and you are consuming it, you may be thinking, well, the narcissist is living their best life. They're with the new supply and they look like they're having a great time. Well, I will tell you a few things. Don't be so sure, because think of the relationship that you were in with them. Yeah, you had some good times. Of course you did. You had a few great times. Yes, you did. But most of that relationship was littered with you wasting your time, waiting for the narcissist, picking them up, dropping them off, paying their way through life, having them triangulate you, having them gaslight you, having them give you the silent treatment, having them stonewall you, having them blame shift you, having them verbally abuse you, financially abuse you, mentally abuse you, at times physically abuse you. Everything went sideways when you were in that relationship. But what you were doing when you were in that relationship is you were thinking about the love bomb / euphoric stage, and you wanted to get back there. And by design, the narcissist took you back there periodically to keep you in line and to keep you trapped in the fog. And then again, something happened, something shifted. Either you were discarded or you ended it. But whatever you did, you're out of it. And now you're healing, or you have reached the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference after you have healed. Either way, you're headed there. We are all headed in the same direction on the healing path, simply taking different footsteps. You may be in front of me, you may be behind me, you may be right side by side with me, but the point is we are all headed in the same direction, looking to reach that pinnacle of indifference. That's a place where the narcissist can't ever get to. The narcissist vibrates lower than your shoe. They know it, I know it, and you know it. They had you tricked and trapped into believing that that's where you should be existing. That is not where you should be existing. You should be existing way high up, higher than the sun and the stars, because that is how you vibrate naturally. That's why the narcissist saw your beautiful, bright, shining light and your energy when they first met you, or maybe even gave birth to you. And they said, wow, this one's special. What can I do to knock them off their perch? That's what they did. That's what they're doing right now. But they're not doing it to you any longer. At least that's my hope, because you've gone no contact, etc. But the narcissists, eventually they get choked out. The supply sources dry up. People catch on to them. People want nothing to do with them. And many times, not always, but many times the narcissist is isolated by themselves in any setting you want to picture. Maybe they have a lot of money, maybe they have no money, maybe they have average money, who knows? It's not about money. It's about that the narcissist eventually, at times, isolates themselves. And this is exactly how the cycle ends for these people usually. Usually, immediate family members, etc., are not bedside with them because they've been burnt out, and there's no amount of money that they will be bribed by to go visit the narcissist if the narcissist has a lot of money. And if the narcissist doesn't, many times they end up living in people's basements. They end up getting roommates in people's houses. They end up not having jobs. They end up not having any support whatsoever. But then they just think to themselves, no problem. What will I do? I'll just jump on social media and use a couple filters and act like I'm living my best life, and I'll attract what? I will attract a new supply. And it's just a matter of time before I get out of this basement or having a roommate living in a room of some stranger's house, that I will go have someone else pay my way through life. This is what they do, but they don't want people to know it. That's why their lives always become unraveled. They go sideways more than you would know. And you would be surprised how many times, perhaps, I'll take you back in time here, maybe when you were with the narcissist, maybe it was just the two of you in the house and you would hear some strange words or some strange sounds, and it was the narcissist. But again, back then you didn't know they were a narcissist. And what were they doing? They probably didn't even know you were in the house, and they were just letting it out, because all the demons in their mind, all the anxiety in their mind, and all the destruction they've created throughout their life, it comes back to haunt them. It comes back to roost in their brain. And that is not a good place to be. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And I hope you saw that rabbit. He is sitting over there, and there are actually two of them now. I'm not going to turn the camera. Enjoy yourselves. I love you. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Good night, you guys.